What do Doctor Who fans watch when they're not watching Doctor Who? Well, if you're looking for great recommendations of some shows that you'll love, if you love Doctor Who, you've come to the right place, because we have asked Doctor Who fans what they watch when they're not watching Doctor Who. And so we're going to go on an adventure in space and time as we explore some brilliant TV recommendations just for you.
With the return of magic to the world, all sorts of odd things are waking.
Hello and welcome to Screen OD. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's great to have you on board. If you're new to the channel, my name is Tim. I'm an editor and a journalist who's been writing and talking about TV, movies and entertainment for almost 15 years. If you're returning to the channel, hi, it's great to have you back. I'm assuming that you have at least a passing interest in Doctor Who, and that's why you're here, to find more great shows to watch that are a bit like Doctor Who. Now, just before we get started, a quick reminder that if you do like this type of video, it's a great idea to subscribe to the Screen OD channel. If you do that, you'll get all the best content direct to your YouTube feed. You can just put your feet up, sit back, relax, and enjoy the best videos. And if you do subscribe, please write in the comments below, I subscribed, or hi Tim, or something like that, so that I can reply and we can get to know each other in TV terms, and we can talk about what you're watching right now and any new shows that you might be interested in talking about in the future. Of course, if you like the video, it's always great if you like the video too, because then more people get to see it. Right, let's get on with things, because today we are talking about shows that people who like Doctor Who like. Yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister, but essentially I have asked people on the internet if they like shows that are like Doctor Who. We've asked Doctor Who fans what they like, and here are some of the shows that they've come up with.
You could identify a software designer by his tie and an airline pilot by his left thumb?
Yes. And I could read your military career in your face and your leg and your brother's drinking habits and your mobile phone.
That was amazing.
One of the shows that was mentioned more than any other, actually, when I asked Doctor Who fans what they would recommend to other Doctor Who fans, was the BBC show Sherlock. And it does share some stuff in common with Doctor Who in the fact that it's made by the BBC, but probably more importantly that the co-creators of it are Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss. Now, of course, Stephen Moffat was showrunner of Doctor Who itself for a long period of time during the New Who era, and Mark Gatiss has written episodes for Doctor Who and has a long connection with the show. Therefore, it does share something in style and sensibility with Doctor Who, and you can see why Doctor Who fans may recommend it. The next show on the list is Babylon 5, a sci-fi which is very much a sci-fi. Unlike Sherlock, it's not just a show that has sensibilities like Doctor Who, but it has stuff in common on the screen. Now, this is a show that a lot of Doctor Who fans who spoke of it talked of very highly. They lauded it as a beautifully crafted piece of television. It ran for over 100 episodes in the 1990s, and although maybe special effects and lots of other things around television making have moved on, the sensibilities of the show, the craftsmanship of the show, and the way that the storytelling, both in the larger arc and within the episodes themselves, really takes you on a journey that makes you feel very close to the characters, is something that I think draws Doctor Who fans to it.
The League of Highly Gifted Historians.
That's not even close.
The Society of... the Federation of... The Order of the Sun...
No.
The Guardians of the... The Council? They're,
Seriously?
Who are you guys?
We're the librarians.
Really?
Yep, you got it.
Next up on the list is a show that actually span off from a film series. This is, of course, The Librarians, which ran for 4 seasons on TV and is described by some of the Doctor Who fans who I spoke to as being witty, as being clever, and of course the library being very reminiscent of some of the designs of the TARDIS. So if the TARDIS is part of Doctor Who that you like, and you like some of the lighter side of what goes on in the BBC series, maybe this is one that's worth checking out.
2 top government agents have just been reassigned to the middle of nowhere.
Welcome to Warehouse 13.
What is this place?
I like to think of it as America's attic.
Described as part X-Files, part Raiders of the Lost Ark, and part Moonlighting, Warehouse 13 is a series that has been recommended by lots of Doctor Who fans to other Doctor Who fans. The Sci-Fi series is a show that has plenty of sci-fi, quite a lot of comedy, and a lot of drama too. Perhaps a little bit more adult orientated than some of the Doctor Who episodes, but this is a series that definitely shares some values with Doctor Who, and something that I think that you're going to like if you like Doctor Who, which is why it's on the list. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know how he got on the screen, but you may have guessed from the musical introduction that the show we're talking about next is Life on Mars. Well, in fact, we're talking about Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes, both shows that have been recommended by Doctor Who fans for Doctor Who fans because of the time travel element. We're not talking about time traveling doctors, we're talking about time traveling cops, but we are also talking about shows that have great storylines, brilliant gripping plots, and of course lots and lots of quite dry humour. So if you like that sort of thing, I think you're going to like Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes, and I promise you there'll be no more guitar in this video. Well, I mean, hit the like button if you don't want me to play any more guitar.
Name is Sam Tyler, DCI Sam Tyler. That much I do know. The rest is anyone's guess. Because 1 minute I was in 2006, the next I'm in 1973. So the question now is, what happened?
Next up, we have a show that is very, very British, just like Doctor Who. It's, of course, Red Dwarf, which is a sci-fi comedy, first and foremost, but it's a show that has lots and lots of sci-fi ideas in it and some great characters to follow too. So if you're interested in the antics of Lister and Rimmer and Cat and Crichton, then Red Dwarf is a show that Doctor Who fans think that you should check out. And the good news is there's lots of it too.
On Monday, Red Dwarf blasts off on an intergalactic mission manned by a select crew of, well, take Second Technician Rimmer, for instance. He's a man devoted to duty.
Is that a cigarette you're smoking, Lister? No, it's a chicken. Right, you're on report.
Show that once again mixes science fiction with social commentary and with lots of humorous incidents is Quantum Leap, that ran from the late 80s into the 1990s and is considered by many in the science fiction community as one of the greats of the modern age. Follow the story of Dr. Sam Beckett, a physicist, as he travels through some real adventures, because that's what your Doctor Who fan friends think that you should try next. Legends of Tomorrow is a show that lots of Doctor Who fans mentioned too, and I think the reasons they gave are fairly compelling. It's science fiction and it's a time travel show. It has a similar sense of balance of humour and drama, just like Doctor Who has. And you know what? If you need an added bonus, it's also got Arthur Darvill in a starring role, so you've got an instant Doctor Who connection, even if you need a little bit of time to get into it.
Of all the people who ever lived, I chose you 8. I certainly hope that you won't let me and the world down.
I can get behind that.
It's a show that is very, very British and very, very classic Who in its feel. It's, of course, Blake 7, a series that only ran across 4 seasons and has a relatively few number of episodes to choose from, but its inspirations are things like Robin Hood, Star Trek, and, of course, the Westerns. It's got lots of themes that are a bit like the Dirty Dozen going on in it. This is something that also deals with real-world political themes. It's a show that has a huge cult following still today.
Very soon now, the Federation ships will know exactly where we are. Or at least, where we've been.
I don't follow you.
Oh, but you do. And that's the problem.
One of the shows that continues to come up amongst Doctor Who fans as one that they think that you should go and watch is Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. This is a BBC America production which they've worked with Netflix on in more recent times and stars the likes of Elijah Wood, who of course you will know from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This is a show that blends science fiction and comedy. Does that sound familiar? But what's even more Doctor Who connected with it is it's based on books by Douglas Adams, and those students of Who amongst us will know that Douglas Adams was, as well as being the creator of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, one of the great works of science fiction, was of course a writer on Doctor Who back in the day. So you can't say it's more Who connected than that, and it is. So maybe you should go and watch it.
Also, you're fired.
Hi. My name is Dirk Gently. I'm a detective. I live here now and I'll be sleeping here tonight.
Another show that you can watch on Netflix. Yes, if you're streaming, you're probably enjoying quite a lot of sci-fi right now. And if you are, you should check out these Netflix hacks for sci-fi fans that are up there. You go and enjoy them and you'll find lots of ways to find your favourite genre of sci-fi. But here's another one that's on Netflix, and this is a Netflix original. It's the Umbrella Academy, which Doctor Who fans have recommended to other fans of the show because they feel that it's got similar sensibilities, and especially when you move on into season 2, it becomes quite timey-wimey, if you'll excuse the phrase.
I have adopted 6 children, gifted with abilities far beyond the ordinary. I give you the Umbrella Academy.
And if you haven't seen it, this is one that people definitely think you should go and watch. It's the Canadian sci-fi series Orphan Black. It's a show that is based around the idea of cloning, and it asks lots of ethical and moral questions about cloning and about identity. Now, that doesn't sound exactly the same as Doctor Who, but the essence of the show, the themes behind the show, and the way that it has been constructed as a sci-fi definitely remind a lot of Whovians of their favourite shows.
Something really weird just happened at the train station.
What?
I saw a girl kill herself.
Ew.
Yeah, and she looked exactly like me.
Before we get to the very final show on this list, I just wanted to say that there is a reason why there aren't any direct Doctor Who spin-offs here. It's not that I've forgotten them or that they weren't mentioned. They have been mentioned by a lot of people, but when I talked to people and asked them, a lot of people said besides the Doctor Who spin-offs. And I think it would be quite obvious to put the Sarah Jane Adventures and Torchwood and maybe K9 and Company, if that's your cup of tea, on the list. And so if you haven't seen any of those and you weren't aware that they were there, well, obviously maybe give them a try. But we are considering them pretty much part of the Doctor Who family here. And these are shows that aren't part of the Doctor Who family, but we think that you will like. And the final one is a classic in sci-fi terms. It has roots that go back as far as Doctor Who in many ways, and it has been turned into all sorts of different shows and films over the last many decades. This is a show that has similar themes in many ways. It has an optimistic outlook and approach to things. It also challenges ideas everywhere that it goes in the world of sci-fi as it moves across the universe, through the planets, and it meets aliens and different cultures as it goes. It's got a lot in common with Doctor Who. Of course, I'm talking about Star Trek.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
One of the great sci-fi shows, and what a lot of the people said when they were asked about shows that they thought the Doctor Who fans would like is that there is quite a big connection even between the communities of people who like both. There are people who said they got into Doctor Who because they loved Star Trek, and they got into Star Trek because they like Doctor Who. And so there is a crossover, there is a natural something about both of these shows that have similarities. And so if you're not already watching Star Trek and you haven't started on that journey, then as a Doctor Who fan, a lot of the people who like the show think that you should. And so there is plenty of it to get going with, because you've got TV series, multiple TV series of different types with different actors playing lead characters. And of course you have movies too, the original ones, and now a whole new rebooted world. So that's it. That is some of the best shows that Doctor Who fans think the other Doctor Who fans should go and watch. Are you confused? No, I'm not confused. That's fine. Yes, there are some great selections there from different types of science fiction to shows that aren't even really science fiction.